Hello, my name is Andrea Chandler, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the four main public relation models created by Grunig and Hunt and how they relate to sports and public relations. So without further ado, let me put on my fake glasses to make me look smarter, and here we go. Let me teach you a little something. So the first out of the four models is press agency/publicity. The most important part about press agency/publicity that's different from all the other models is that this one has little emphasis on fact. Press agency/publicity is a one-way communication, and it's typically used in propaganda. The second model is known as public information. It is the only one that uses an emotional appeal to persuade the audience in a certain direction. This is another form of one-way communication, and it has emphasis on truthfulness, and all the other models do as well. The third model is two-way asymmetrical, and this is where information is presented, but there is limited feedback. Typically, asymmetrical also has scientific persuasion and has expert speaking. Manipulation is unfortunately often used because people tend to trust experts when they speak, but experts can say whatever they want, whether that's the truth or not. The fourth and last model of Grunig and Hunt is the two-way symmetrical. What that looks like is it's the golden standard. This is the one that everyone wants to ideally be, because there is equal information given as well as received. Feedback is welcome, and in the end, through the two-way symmetrical model, you're only seeing improvement for the organization, and that's why this is the golden standard of the models. Yay! Now that we've discussed the four models from Grunig and Hunt, I will be giving examples of each of them. So since this is propaganda, typically press agency/publicity is just things that are advertised to whatever audience really the organization wants to target. Because this one is little to no fact, it is more like advertisement in a way. So this is kind of the stuff that's kind of thrown in your face all the time, and they really just want you to engage in the team somehow. So with that being said, some of the examples are: in the 1930s, the cereal company known as Wheaties had the idea to showcase athletes on the cover of their cereal boxes. It started out with baseball players, but as popularity for the cereal grew, they began to showcase Olympic athletes as well. By having these big shot athletes on the cover of their cereal boxes, they targeted fans of the sports player, and thanks to their new slogan, which was "Breakfast of a Champion," consumers believed that these athletes ate the cereal every day for breakfast, and they could be just like them as long as they also ate the cereal. It's not likely that this is a fact, and this is a form of one-way communication as well as propaganda, so that's why I believe this is an example of the press agency/publicity model. Next up, we have examples for public information. I won't touch on all of these, but one of the examples I have for public information is a news release on a new coach. So let's say it's a scenario where the old coach won every game of the season. Thanks to him, he really pushed his team to great limits, did amazing things, right? Well, now he has to go because he has a baby on the way and he has to stay home with the wife. That being said, of course, there's a new coach in. Everyone's kind of flustered because they love the old coach so much. How can this new coach be any better? Well, that's why a news release is helpful, because it gives one-way communication and states everything that this audience might need to know about this new coach so that they feel reassured that they're in good hands for their favorite team. Now we have examples for the two-way asymmetrical model. The easiest example to look at associated with the two-way asymmetrical model is ESPN Sports as an organization, which, in case you didn't know, stands for Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. Basically, ESPN is the #1 source for sports coverage in any kind of game. That means background on players, how they just performed in a game, what it could mean for the future, and statistics of the overall season. The reason why this is an example of the two-way asymmetrical model is because statistics about a game that just occurred is given to the anchorman about to go live on ESPN. And technically, the anchorman is seen as the expert in the sport because he has the statistics in his hand from the game that they just played, and he's the one delivering it to the targeted audience. And that is also where manipulation could come into play. And last but not least is the two-way symmetrical model. An example of this could be a meet and greet or some kind of big party that is thrown to raise money for a charity event, the sports team, or even the stadium. An example I found was called Grizzlies Assists for St. Jude. People would donate whatever sum of money they chose to St. Jude for every assist that would happen during a Grizzlies game. Some of the benefits that donors would receive were signed basketballs, signed posters, or even meet and greet opportunities. And typically in fundraisers like this, you don't necessarily have control over who talks to who, and people are allowed to network or communicate with old friends however they please. And ultimately, the organization only improves from the donations given or received. In conclusion, these have been the 4 models from Grunig and Hunt, and these have been some examples of them as seen in sports public relation. My name is Andrea Chandler. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for this class.